sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive with me, and as always, with me, the expert, I like to call him.
Oh, stop it, you.
So this time,
I appreciate that.
we're going pitch side, right?
Yeah.
To Real Madrid's 5-1 rout of Red Bull Salzburg in the Champions League.
Big game.
Huge game. We've got our
Hopefully.
usual sources,
Right?
The GOAL.com match report,
Of course.
and those juicy player ratings. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have them.
But we're going beyond
It's-
just,
Right.
who scored. What does this win really tell us about
Right.
Real's form, especially those Brazilian stars,
Yeah.
Rodrygo and Vinícius Jr.?
I'm excited to break this down.
Let's get tactical.
A 5-1 scoreline,
Yeah.
can be
Oh,
deceptive.
okay.
Sure, it screams dominance.
Right.
But Real didn't exactly start that way, did they?
Exactly. The match report actually highlights their sluggish start.
Interesting.
Not the Real Madrid we expect in the Champions League. Were Salzburg just that good early on?
Right.
Or is there something more to this slow start we should be analyzing?
It's interesting, isn't it? Salzburg did come out pressing high, disrupting Real's rhythm, which isn't easy to do.
Right.
But, and I think this is key for our listener,
Okay.
it also felt like Real were almost too relaxed,
Ooh,
expecting an easy win perhaps.
interesting.
That mental switch, being able to turn it on even when not playing well, that's what makes them champions.
All right, speaking of champions turning it on, let's talk Rodrygo.
Oh, yeah.
2 goals, and that second one, I'm guessing you rewatched that a few times too.
Who hasn't?
Right.
But this is where we go deeper, right?
Okay.
It wasn't just a beautiful goal, though.
Right.
It was that
Right.
think back to how Salzburg had been frustrating. Real.
Mm.
This goal in the 50th minute, it didn't just put them up 3-0, it crushed Salzburg mentally.
Wow.
You could see it on the pitch.
And can we talk about the assist on that goal?
Oh,
Bellingham,
please.
with a no-look back heel new guy on the squad and already pulling off that...
I actually want to challenge something you said earlier.
Okay.
You called it pure genius.
Oh.
But I think that downplays it.
Okay.
Bellingham's spatial awareness, his vision to see that pass, and the technique to execute it.
Right.
This goes beyond just talent. It's about understanding Real's style of play at a fundamental level.
So it's not just that he fits it, he's already elevating their game.
Precisely. That assist tells us Bellingham isn't just a flashy addition. He's a tactical piece. Real needed, and for our listener, think about this. How many young players come into a team like Real and immediately have that kind of connection?
Wow.
It's rare.
Yeah.
It's really rare.
Okay, from rare brilliance to a player becoming more and more reliable.
Okay.
Vinícius Jr., quiet first half, then boom, 2 goals in the second.
It's the type of goals that's worth our listeners' attention.
Ooh.
We know Vinícius for his pace, his dribbling.
Right.
But these goals, the far post finish, was textbook positioning and timing, something he's been criticized for lacking in the past. The second goal, the one with the little twist, that's confidence.
So we're seeing Vinícius Jr. evolve from exciting prospect to someone consistently impacting big matches.
I think that's the takeaway here. If you've been following his career, you'll notice he's added that clinical edge to his game. That's what elevates him from just being fun to watch to a genuine threat that defenses now fear.
All right, got to ask about the moment that had everyone, even non-Real fans, talking. Mbappe basically being gifted a goal by the Salzburg keeper.
Okay, let's have some fun with this.
I love it.
Yes, it was a howler from the keeper, but it's also a testament to Mbappe's constant pressure.
Right.
Some forwards would have switched off in that situation, not him.
That's the difference, right? He forced the error. That's what sets the great players apart, that relentless hunger, even when the scoreline is already comfortable.
Exactly. And for our listener, think about how this win affects mentally.
Right.
5 on a couple of lucky breaks. They're going into their next match with sky-high confidence, and that's dangerous for any team facing them.
Ooh, that is scary.
Very scary.
I like it.
It's a good thing to be if you're a Real Madrid fan.
Exactly.
Not so much if you're anybody else.
Not so much for everyone else.
Nope.
All right, so we've got a lot more to break down, as always.
Oh, we do.
But we'll pick that up next time, right?
You got it.
See you then.
See you on. And this brings us to something you touched on earlier about the evolution of Real Madrid's style. It's not just about star players anymore.
You're right. This isn't the Galacticos era, is it?
No.
Back then, it felt like individual brilliance was the main strategy.
Exactly. But what we saw against Salzburg and what we've been seeing this whole season is a more balanced wear. Real Madrid, they still have those moments of individual magic.
Right.
But it's woven into a much stronger tactical fabric.
So what should our listener be looking out for to spot this new style? What are the telltale signs?
Think about it this way. Instead of relying on one or two players to carry the team, they're now dangerous from multiple angles. The way they press as a unit, fluidity of their movement, they're less predictable, harder to contain.
It's like comparing a finely tuned orchestra to a jazz ensemble, both beautiful,
I like that,
but with different approaches.
And this match was a great example. Rodrygo and Vinícius Jr., yes, they scored the goals, but it was the build-up play, the movement off the ball that created those opportunities.
And that's where someone like Bellingham comes in. He wasn't just about that one assist, was he?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment to appreciate his role.
Okay.
He's not just a traditional midfielder. He's everywhere on the pitch, defending, linking up play, arriving late in the box. He's a complete modern midfielder.
You can tell he's studied the Real Madrid DNA. He's not just playing for them, he's playing like them already.
And that's down to coaching, to the club culture. They've integrated him seamlessly. But it's also Bellingham's own intelligence as a player. He's adapted to their system while adding his own unique qualities.
It's making me rethink my prediction for them this season.
Oh, really?
I had some doubts, but seeing this level of play...
I understand the hesitation. But what we're seeing is a team clicking on multiple levels. The individual talent is there, but now it's combined with tactical discipline and a real hunger to win.
Speaking of hunger, let's talk about Vinícius Jr. again. His second half performance was a masterclass. And it's more than just the goals, it's the way he's grown as a player.
I think this is a crucial point for our listener.
Yeah.
Think back to a couple of seasons ago. Vinícius was exciting, but raw, prone to mistakes. Now he's adding consistency to that flair. He's a constant threat, and that's what makes him truly world-class.
He's always had the speed and the trickery, but now he's adding that killer instinct in front of goal. That's the difference.
Exactly. He's become a complete attacker, and that's terrifying for defenses. You can't just focus on stopping his dribbling anymore. He'll punish you with his movement and his finishing.
All right. We've talked about the tactical side, the individual brilliance, but there's one moment we can't ignore, the Mbappe gift goal, as some are calling it.
Let's be honest, it was a comical error from the Salzburg keeper, but I want to play devil's advocate here.
Go on. I'm intrigued.
Would that goal have happened if Mbappe wasn't applying constant pressure? Other forwards might have eased off, but his instinct is to go for every ball, every chance he forced that mistake.
That's a great point. It's about mentality as much as it is about skill.
Exactly. And it speaks to the wider point about Real Madrid's dominance in this match. They were relentless, both individually and as a team. They didn't let Salzburg breathe.
This 5-1 win wasn't just about the goals. It was a statement of intent. They're not just here to compete. They're here to win it all.
And I think that's the key takeaway for our listener. This Real Madrid team is scary good. They have the talent, the tactics, and now the belief that they can beat anyone.
So after analyzing all this, what's your professional opinion? Is this just a hot streak, or are we seeing the return of the Real Madrid dynasty?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's too early to say for sure. But what I will say is that this team is built differently. They're more balanced, more adaptable, and crucially, they have a hunger that we haven't seen from them in a while.
So it's not just about reliving past glories. It's about forging a new path to success.
Exactly. And that's what makes them so exciting to watch. They're not just trying to replicate the past. They're writing their own chapter in Real Madrid's history.
This deep dive has been an absolute roller coaster of tactical insights and moments of brilliance. We've dissected the match, analyzed the individual performances, and explored the bigger picture of Real Madrid's evolution.
And for our listener, I think the biggest takeaway is this. Don't just watch the highlights. Pay attention to the details. That's where you see the true genius of this Real Madrid team.
You're right. It's those subtle movements, the tactical awareness, the relentless pressure. That's what separates them from the rest.
And if they can maintain this level of performance, they'll be a force to be reckoned with in every competition they enter.
You know, as we're talking, I keep coming back to something you mentioned earlier about Real Madrid's tactical flexibility.
Yeah.
It feels like they've added new dimensions to their game.
It's one of the most fascinating aspects of this team in the past. You could predict, to a certain extent, how Real Madrid would approach a match. They had a clear system, a defined structure.
Right. It was almost like watching a well-rehearsed play. You knew the roles, you knew the moves. It was just a question of execution.
But now there's this element of unpredictability. They can shift their shape, change their approach depending on the opponent, even during the match itself. And that makes them so difficult to prepare for.
So instead of one fixed blueprint, they have multiple ways to unlock a defense.
Exactly. And I think our listener can really appreciate this if they compare this Real Madrid side to some of their previous iterations. It's not just about having star players, it's about how those players work together as a cohesive unit.
And how does that play out on the pitch? What should we be looking for as viewers to spot this tactical adaptability?
Pay attention to the movement off the ball. You'll see players like Rodrygo and Vinícius Jr. drifting inside, interchanging positions, creating confusion for the defenders. They're not just hugging the touchline, they're popping up in dangerous areas all over the pitch.
It's like they have this unspoken understanding, this telepathic connection. They're always on the move, always looking for space to exploit.
And then you have someone like Bellingham who's equally adept at playing a deep-lying role or driving forward into the attack. He's a true box-to-box midfielder, and his versatility gives Real Madrid so many options.
So they're not just reliant on individual brilliance anymore. It's more about collective intelligence, everyone reading the game and reacting accordingly.
Precisely. They're playing smarter, not just harder, and that's a sign of a truly great team.
It's been an absolute pleasure dissecting this match with you. We've gone beyond the scoreline, delved into the tactical nuances, and witnessed the evolution of a truly iconic club.
It's been a fascinating journey for me as well. This Real Madrid team is full of surprises, and I'm eager to see what they do next.
And for our listener, I think we've provided a lot to consider. This wasn't just another Real Madrid win. It was a masterclass in modern football.
I wholeheartedly agree. There's so much to learn from watching this team, from their individual skills to their collective understanding of the game.
So as always, we encourage you to go beyond the highlights, rewatch the match, and pay attention to those subtle details that often go unnoticed. That's where the true beauty of football lies.
And who knows, maybe you'll even spot something we missed.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep the passion for the beautiful game alive.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all